You're now listening to the Something Good Podcast Network. Please press any key to continue.
Yep.
Don't touch it!
Ed Hill's accidentally fishing with illegal drugs, and wait till you see who gets hooked. Go on now, this catch a brand new King of the Hill, next on Fox.
Watch your best source of audio for terrible news.
What? It's funny. I can just imagine like the movie guy, the movie trailer guy, coming this summer. This summer. You need bad news? iPhone X5.
Welcome back to part 2 of season 2. Might as well just jump right into it. At last part, we were talking about the unbearable blindness.
Yeah, Hank's stepdaddy.
Yeah, walking in on his mama and his daddy.
Episode 12, Meet the Manger Baby.
Oh, yes.
Where Hank plays God.
Luann kind of sees him as God, too, and it's
that's our
adorable.
Uncle Hank.
Yeah.
I love you, Uncle Hank. I love that shit.
The most positive life force in her life.
And they do it on Super Bowl Sunday.
Yeah, because instead of her realizing the station's just throwing her a bone by putting her on show, she's like, "We're going up against the Super Bowl." And it's just like, no, because they put you there because they know no one's gonna fucking watch it.
Yeah, it's like the kids to watch in the other room.
And Hank goes,
and what did Nancy say? Oh, the network is always looking for positive Christian television, positive Christian puppet shows.
Yeah, and it all started because they went to a garage sale.
Yeah, because she was feeling down. Mm-hmm. She was feeling down, and he's like, "Hell," because he was there to buy socks.
Yeah,
the guy who sells like a jumbo thing of socks for like $1.
Right.
And
go see the sock guy.
Yeah, and she's like, "If it makes you happy, it only costs me less than $3. It's worth it."
Yeah, it's all about the puppets.
If it keeps you from bitching for it's less than $3. Yeah, I'm all for it.
But Hank took the Super Bowl like all serious. He wanted to have like a full-on Super Bowl party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he got cast to play God in Luann's Manger Baby show.
Last second.
And he didn't realize it was going to be on Super Bowl Sunday when he agreed.
Yep.
Uncle Hank, it's going to be this Sunday.
And he almost bailed on her.
This Sunday?
Yeah, because remember, she does a righteous Christian puppet show at church first.
Yep.
And the pastor's like, I swear to God, if these kids, if she doesn't keep their attention and these kids drop grape juice on my new fucking carpet in my fucking youth, and he's like losing his shit because Hank comes in at the last minute and saves the day.
Yeah.
But the fucked up part before that is Luann's story with the characters. Like one is a passenger. Yeah, there's a drunk driving narrative, and they all die in a fire. And Luann's like,
because there is no God.
What?
Let's just get drunk because there is no God.
And I like, again, we always talk about the subtle jokes and the jokes that almost kind of fly under the radar. I like the one talking about getting Bill ready for coming over, and Peggy was like, "We gotta get more Scotch Guard," and then I forget who someone else said to Hank. It was like, "Why don't we just not let Bill eat chips?" And it's like, no. He's like, "But you've got to keep his fingers off the couch." And,
no. He's like, we'll do an I formation, and we'll keep Bill here, and Bill here, Boomhauer here, and we'll just block him every time he goes to. We'll put him in the middle.
And then it was like, as soon as, and then like a few scenes later, it cuts, and they're like, "Yay!" And he sits down, and you just immediate. You see just the orange showing
because he's
up.
a piece of shit.
Yeah, and like you say, after that, he gets his consciousness because actually another really good joke on that one was Peggy bought a universal remote control, and she was controlling the remote from outside, switching it over to Manger Babies.
Yeah, making it look like God made it so.
Yeah.
Right.
So then at the very end, after Hank saves the day and Peggy feels all righteous and everything, and he was like, "It's weird, Peggy. The TV just kept changing like God was in charge."
They did that in Poltergeist. Remember that?
And then Bobby comes walking up and he's like, Mom, I hope you don't mind. I borrowed the batteries from your universal remote control from your pocketbook to play my Game Boy. She's like, shut the fuck up, Bobby.
Well, she said she's like looks at it like it is a part of like God's plan or something.
Well, she at first was like, shut up, Bobby, and Hank was like, what remote control? And she pulls it out and she looks and she's like, wait a minute, the batteries are. When did no? She was like, Bobby, when did you take the batteries? And he was like, before the Super Bowl. And she's like,
yeah,
then that means. And you see like the he's like, or after the Super Bowl. I don't know. It's hard to remember.
Yep.
It's a funny episode. It's a good Luann centric episodes.
Yeah.
What were the names of the puppets?
There's what? Mm-hmm. The Mr. Penguin or some shit. There's a penguin.
There's a donkey
and a squid. They're called the Manger Babies because she's like, these were the animals that were there during
right.
Christ's
But
birthday,
everybody
except
wants to talk
octopus and
about the
penguin.
wise men and the baby Jesus, but what about the animals?
The animals, Uncle Hank.
Hank.
Oh my god, that voice is so hilarious.
Hank.
It's always like a slow whine.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I do like her mom though. Her mom is hilarious.
Leanne,
the most dangerous bitch in Ireland. And the next one is Snow Job.
Yeah.
Which is fucking hilarious because it's the one where Hank is in charge, was going to be in charge, and then Strickland fucked him because Strickland's the worst character in all of
Wasn't
Ireland.
this one of the first like big Strickland episodes?
Yes, this is very because he had a.
He had like a small cameo. It felt like.
No, he's in the episode quite a bit actually. He had a fucking infarction, like a heart attack or something, and he gets put in the hospital.
Oh,
and
the caddy job.
No. He puts another manager because remember Strickland owns multiple branches.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's Strickland Northwest and all this stuff. Well, anyway, he's got all his district managers there, including Hank.
Yeah.
And he's like on the hospital. He's like, ladies, I would need you to step out of the room. They're going to do a testing.
Yeah,
I don't want to let you see this. And the women leave. He's like, all right, now that it's just us guys. He's like, this is what I need you to do. Vickers, you're in charge. Let's see what that degree is worth. And Hank is like, what?
Yeah, because Hank's watching the dogs, right?
Yeah, he gets sent to watch the hounds, and he's like, you want to put this twig boy in charge? And he's like, it's okay, Hank. I'll make enough time for you, give you enough off time so you can go feed Strickland's dogs and clean up their mess.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh, that motherfucker, dude. I'm beat him to death. And that's when like Hank has like serious doubts about his job.
Yeah.
At the end of the episode, he quits his job and then comes back.
He's a company man.
He's a company man, and that's what that was all about. And that was the name of the episode where he's taking care of that guy from Boston.
Okay.
About 3 episodes back.
It's called Company Man.
Yep.
The company man, because he's doing whatever it takes to get that going.
Yep.
Even though at any time he could start his own fucking business and crush all of them.
The amount of knowledge he has.
Yeah, like it's so weird that he stays loyal to that piece of shit.
Oh, I know, because Buck is just an absolute.
He's the worst. But
Yeah.
his nickname for Hank is Old Top. You know why?
Old Top.
You know why? Because Hank is always on top of things. Because he's
Yep.
always there. He's the most
Anchor at work.
He's
the
the
anchor of the friend group.
most dependable worker you could have.
Yeah.
It's
And
like, he needs Hank more than Hank needs Buck.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
yeah, and like I take that mentality to heart a lot of times when I go to work or to a job, especially like certain jobs where I've been hired on. I'm like, no, I got this.
Yeah.
You can leave, and then it bites me in the ass later. But
And here's an interesting way to also maybe think about it, which is, Hank was rather disenfranchised with having to deal with Buck's dogs and everything else.
And then
the flip side to
then he
it,
sold the electric range.
Yes.
In the kitchen, but Buck, you've been talking about God's gas for years. He's like, damn it, Hank, it came with the house.
but the flip side to it is, I almost kind of look at it like Buck only trusted Hank to feed his dogs, which his dogs you could theoretically kind of paint as like his babies, his children.
They are, because they're genuine Georgia bloodhounds.
Yeah.
Remember they talk about that on Hank's dog. Hank, oh yeah, it's like, yeah. Lady Bird's great grandfather hunted down James Earl Ray, the guy that shot Martin Luther King.
Buck Strickland just comes from that world of just like all purebreds all the time, as messed up as that is.
Yeah, that's fucked up. That's a whole different rabbit hole, but it's fucked up. And the guy Vickers is a piece of shit. The guy who runs it, he's put Vickers. God damn it! He's like, you know what? He remember because he fires all the truck drivers. Oh, they quit. No, they quit.
No, they quit because Hank
and he's
quit.
like, and the whole thing was. Fine, I got a bunch of guys from college that'll come down here and do this just for the life experience. He's like, are they hazmat certified?
Yeah, and then he clips the Buck.
Hazardous materials, Vickers, you dumb bag.
You gotta have a license to drive this shit.
You got that. And then he's passing these nuns. He's like, howdy, ladies. And they like bow because he puts money. He puts like a little bit of money.
Yeah.
Vickers. And then like. That was when Hank and Peggy go with the Bobby, and they go out to like a camping thing, and the mom
tribe charcoal.
Yeah, well, they were going to, but they had that they stopped at that mom and pop store. He's like, "That's what we'll do, Peggy. We'll start a mom and pop store, and I really need you on this because it can't be a mom and pop store." Unless there's Ma, because if it's just Pa, they'll think Pa killed Ma.
Yeah,
even when they fucking meet Paul, the guy that runs their general store, he's like, "Oh, pennies people before pennies." That's what I always say.
And then he leaves,
and then the Ma comes out from the back. You know why they call you Pa? Because y'all pathetic. You know why they call you Ma? Because you're riding my ass.
Well, they kind of got a fire lit under Hank's ass about wanting to start shop himself at one point, though, didn't he?
He wanted to start a general store. And at no point did it come to his brain like, man, I can start my own goddamn propane business. And it's funny because he goes back to it. And he gets his buddies. He gets Boomhauer, Dale, and Bill on it because he puts them on tow trucks. Yep, and that's how they used to run cocaine from Miami to the rest of the country. They would field drug. Like if you get a chance, watch Cocaine Cowboys 1 and 2. But a little trick drug dealers used to use to smuggle a shitload of dope. Was to pack it in a fucking car up to the hilt and get a tow truck guy to come pick it up and drive it out of state. That way, when the tow truck guy gets pulled over and they find all this cocaine on him, the tow truck guy's like, "Nah, here's the ticket." Here's the ticket for the guy. Like, I picked it up. You gotta go find this guy. This guy doesn't exist. You know what I'm saying? The ticket on the guy. The ticket doesn't exist. And the tow truck guy just goes back to Miami and picks up another fucking car. It's hilarious, man.
The more you learn, kids, the more you know.
I know those have been in my queue for Netflix for.
The more you know on the Discord or with Chris Morrison.
The more you know with Chris Morrison.
Let me tell you what Martin Luther King was really like.
The more you shouldn't know.
The more you shouldn't know.
Ooh, and that's actually a kind of a good segue to the next episode. I Remember Mono.
Oh yeah, where Hank
lies like a son of a bitch.
He tells a half truth.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's actually a hilarious story because
it fucks Peggy up so bad.
Peggy is fucking mad as shit because remember she finds that woman, goes to her job, and she's like, "Would you like to try sausage or sausage light?" She uses that same line on Hank that she uses to sell sausage ostrich meat. And it's what is it? Is your wife here, or is your girlfriend here? I forget who did her voice, but it's so off. I think it was same woman. Oh fuck, I don't know
if it's listed here.
But I Remember Mono is hilarious.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Because Hank gets it, and that's where Peggy cooks for him. And they talk over the phone.
But he got mono from kissing another girl.
Yeah, she kissed him.
Right, that's right. Like she approached him and was just like,
Jennifer Jason Leigh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and the thing was like when she found out it was mono, when she confronted Hank, he even lied one more time and was like, "Oh, yeah, I got it from sharing a sports drink bottle with a teammate."
Right, sure, Hank.
And it's just like, damn, bro.
Way to get mono.
And the other, because I'm sitting here going like, it's like, all right, bro. Now's the time just to be the adult and come clean. But I was a stupid teenager. You know, I lied. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you remember?
Now as an adult, you're adding one more layer that she immediately shoots down. So it's like he fucked up.
You remember the B plot to that episode?
That was not right off the top of my head.
It was Valentine's Day, and Bobby had got a Secret Admirer gift, and that's where Carrie Strug actually shows up. That's actually Carrie Strug. Remember, he keeps talking about her all the time.
Yeah.
She's a U.S. gymnast. And she comes on there as herself in like a dream sequence.
Yes.
She does a bunch of flips. She's like, "Hey, Bobby, Happy Valentine's Day. And he thinks it's Carrie fucking Strug for some goddamn reason.
You remember who it wound up being, Cap?
I forget, but I know the part that you're talking
Peggy's
about.
mom.
Yep, Grandma.
Maddie.
Yeah, because he
Grandma Platter.
he was hyping it up at school.
And his friends are in this closet.
Yeah, because he was hyping. That's what I was saying. He was
Yeah, like,
hyping
I'm gonna
it
have
up
like
at
my
school.
secret admirer's over here. She's gonna be so beautiful, and
Yeah,
yeah.
and at the very end, your grandma loves you. Yeah. So, and again, the way Peggy and Hank kind of heal up on that is something happens to Hank. He throws his back out.
He throws his back
shit.
out trying to do romantic gestures. Like
Yeah.
he got her like a pig or.
Oh
like
yeah,
a little baby pig.
and she was like talking about
Look
all
at this
this to like
pig.
her girlfriends,
But he
and
kept
they're like,
fucking it up.
"Oh."
They're like, what do we do with this pig? Well, I don't know. We just catch it. Look how romantic this is.
And like he
it's
had,
just like that movie.
he put a puddle on the patio and took his jacket off. It was like put it on the puddle so she could walk through. He's
That's
like,
the jacket I gave
you that you said was stolen by youths. By a bunch of youths.
It's like, oh god damn.
Just keep digging that hole, Hank.
Oh god, it's fucking hilarious. It's not one of my favorite episodes. But it's pretty solid.
Yeah.
The other one though, we're on 15.
Yeah.
3 days of a condo.
Oh god,
and that's where Hank.
yes.
Oh, when they go to Mexico?
Yeah, they go to Old Mexico.
Yes.
I love. That's one of my favorite
Because
ones.
of the timeshare that Khan wraps them into.
That he gets conned into. Yeah, because
Do they make that joke in the episode?
No. So, Khan, being a asshole, thinks he's getting a condo in Mexico. He's getting half a condo. Mitad means a half, and it's like a 1-bedroom condo, and it's
He
just
has to
like,
share it with
fuck.
2 families.
He tells Hank Hill, he's like Hank, here, you get the top of the condo, and they like him and Peggy and Bobby love it.
Yeah.
They're having a ball, but he gives Hank a fake key and it doesn't work. And so one of the most famous scenes, one of my favorite scenes of Hank Hill, he
Yes.
pulls out a can of WD-40. Guess what? The cap's stuck. Guess what?
Yes.
You know what he does? He reaches on his pant leg, he lifts up his pant leg like he's picking up a Saturday Night Special, and there's a small can of WD-40.
For the keyhole.
And it's just shh, and then it pops the cap on the big can and goes shh on the keyhole. It's like, motherfucker. And then it just cracks right open.
So it makes references like that the entire series. All you need is WD-40 and such and such.
And there's a really fucked up B plot with Bobby and
Oh
Khan.
god, yeah. Getting the explosives, wasn't it, on that episode? Yeah.
The El Hermano.
buying firecrackers and shit like
Well, they
that.
put one. There's like an Italian restaurant with one of the giant like statues out front. With, like,
Actually, yeah, thinking about it, that B plot was really funny because
well,
they only did.
There's 2 subplots.
Oh yeah, with Bill and
Peggy. There's one with Peggy and Min.
oh yeah, with the frog.
Yeah, she wants the paper mache frog. Apparently, it's really hard to find, but no, she wants the paper mache pear, but it comes with a frog. So she buys the frog, holding the pear, and then she just rips that fucking pear off and throws the frog in the street.
And then
She's a psycho.
and then yeah, but with Bobby and Joseph, their scenes were only for like
Connie.
2 segments.
He's with Connie.
It was Connie. I thought it was Joseph.
No, because it was Con's family and Hank's family.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're
Connie
right.
Stephen Newsom's phone.
Yep.
And then Dale shows up at one point
Dale
too.
does show up because he crosses the border.
Yeah.
And what was it? Con gave the passports to the guy, because that's what you do when you go overseas and you're a foreigner. You know, you give your passport to the guy that you're renting from.
Yeah.
So you can't run out on them.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, the guy who owns the property finds out, and he's like, "You get the fuck out of my place!" You know, and he keeps the passport, so they have to cross the border illegally.
Yeah.
And Dale's like, "It's fine, we're all good, just calm down." And they got fucking.
They had like a whole like fucking like Goodfellas like ride scenario.
Yeah, there was, I think Con was. Wasn't Con in the trunk?
I think
Yeah,
Con-
no, yeah.
or
Con
Dale?
was in the trunk.
What's Dale? No. Dale's the one freaking out in the
Yeah,
car.
Con's in the trunk.
Yeah,
right.
Con's in the trunk.
Was he driving? And
Yeah,
no,
he's
wait,
freaking out. Like he's like, "Yeah, everything's cool, and then they finally get to the border.
they
He's
get
like,
to the
"Oh god!"
He's just like, ah!
Yeah.
It just runs off.
Yeah, the good old fashioned boy. And Hank's the last one to get out the car because he's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Because Con pops that truck quick.
Yep.
He's like, "Fuck!" And it's like, "What the fuck?"
And they do the whole thing of
And he's like, sorry," and like Hank runs off, and they cross the border illegally.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
no
do.
shit.
that whole thing was so fucking wild too. Just like, you know, Just the end of the episode where they do the whole thing and they kind of map out a realistic version of what crossing the border would probably be like at that point in time too.
Yeah, they find a little caravan of Spanish people, and remember how they first tried to cross the border was in mopeds.
Yeah.
That they stole or Con stole.
Yeah, and Dale wrecked all of them.
Wrecked both of them. Wrecked his, and then tried to ride tried to ride Super Bitch on the back, and
just
the moped
the
wasn't
thing.
fast enough because it holds 3 goddamn adults. It's not meant to hold 500 fucking pounds. Yeah. And then they decided to walk it, and then Con, being the ever asshole that he is, tells Hank he can't swim. So Hank lets him ride on his shoulder.
Man, he is.
And then chucks him off his shoulders, and Hank just Con swims back to
Because
his shoulders.
Con's talking shit to him as Hank is holding him on his shoulders, walking through this water trench.
Yeah, welcome to the land of opportunity, Hank. That was a really cool part.
Yeah, it was.
Because they climbed the fence. He's like,
Yeah.
welcome to the land of opportunity, Hank. Hey, technically, I'm American. I was American. Technically, I'm now the first American. You invade my country. And it's just like, oh god, he's such a piece of shit.
And speaking of, the next episode was another Con-centric one.
In this country, Con, we back out to the left. And he's like, oh, you have my neck is on fire. I sue you. Oh wait, it's you, Hank Hill. You have no money.
But they get sent to driving school with special guest
Oh, this is the Chris Rock episode.
Chris Rock.
Buddha sack.
Buddha sack.
There is actually you meet Hank's insurance adjuster.
Yes.
Which is a nice little shout out to later episodes because you see her later because her son is the Flying Hawaiian of Tom Landry High School or Arlen High.
Yep.
Miss Kalihi Alihi, and because that's how Hank says it. But Miss Kalihi Alihi.
That's right.
Why does my insurance go up when he hit me, Mr. Hank? If you just go to driving class, we'll take it off your bill. Or I have to raise your premiums. Why would you raise my premiums, Mrs. Kalihi Alihi? And it's just like he keeps saying it like that. And it's fucking hilarious.
And then he goes to the meetings or whatever.
He's
And
like, it's deaf traffic jam.
Deaf traffic jams.
It's deaf something like deaf comedy, but it's deaf defensive driving. Deaf driving, like defense. He thinks it's defensive driving.
Yeah.
And Buddha sack is the character played by Chris Rock, who's essentially just Chris Rock doing a stand-up routine.
He is, and that's when you realize
with driving themes.
And then like Bobby's
Trying to learn.
comedy career takes a sharp alt-right turn.
Yes, because he goes and sees Buddha sack and he's like,
he knows who Buddha Sack is too out the gate.
oh yeah,
And-
and he was like, I'm trying to do comedy like you. He's like, no, you can't do comedy like me. You don't come.
You got to
from
find your own voice, man.
Yeah, he's like, you have to do comedy about your heritage. You can't tell black jokes.
And then he goes on the internet, and what does he find?
White heritage website.
Yes, he just Googles white.
Yeah, it's playing
Dixie.
It's like fucking song American Trilogy. Fucking,
Yep.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden,
Dixieland.
But I love Hank's back and forth.
actually, side note, let's keep on that one real quick. Rather relevant to what's happening during the recording of this, Charlotte, we've got riots and everything. One of Bobby's jokes was, I'm so white during the riots, I went and bought a television.
Yeah.
Objectively, that's pretty good.
Yeah, and not really much more happens in that episode, really. Hank continues through driving school. Bobby gets in trouble because he's doing that shit live, and Buddha Saint makes fun of Hank not having an ass, and then
makes fun of his making mama jokes to Hank, and Hank's just like,
You don't even know my mother.
You don't even know my mother. She's a perfectly fine weight for her age.
And then like Buddha Sack, he even asks Hank, he's like, look, man, because Hank pretty much gets him fired.
Yeah.
And
gives him a job.
Hank makes him feel, and he makes cameo appearances.
Yep,
like
he does.
In the video game episode.
Yeah.
And the end where it's just like, you're like, your fart smells so bad it smells like propane.
Hey, now that's taking it too far.
Propane has no natural odor.
They add that for safety.
All right. And I like the ending part where it's the credits and it's like, hello, my name is Hank Hill, and I am Buddha Sack. I just wanted to let you know that, this, that, and the other.
Come on, do it in Chris Rock voice.
Oh, it's like racial profiling and, racism is not right. They're doing like a little piece.
Yeah, I love
PSA on
Hank's PSAs because they're hilarious.
And then Buddha saying goes, and he has a nice ass. I mean, look at his ass. It's like, okay, I think you got to go to the X-Files now. Go.
They did a couple of those throughout the series, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. And then up next was Hank's Dirty Laundry.
Porn episode.
Yes.
Episode.
Now, I could not have rent Cuffs and Collars because she would have been 17 and that would have been illegal. So it is actually impossible for me to have rent this movie from Arlen Video. And it's like, damn it, Hank, just pay the fucking porn charge.
It was like $30 or something.
But here's the problem, though.
Bill did it.
Well, yeah. So let me lead up to that because the B plot to that is almost better than the main plot.
Oh, yeah, because Bobby's trying to figure out what he's getting for his birthday.
Bobby thinks that with Hank and Peggy being all secretive, not wanting him to know that they're dealing
gonna
with
give me a
porn
surprise
scandal.
birthday party.
Yeah, they think he's like they're like planning this whole thing, and I love the bit where he's like he keeps jumping into rooms going hey. Like expecting the surprise party, and he's like,
and
doing
like,
jazz
Bobby, your birthday's not for another 2 months.
I know, but this would be the perfect way to surprise me.
Because remember the beginning of the episode is like they're going to go buy a washing machine.
Yeah,
and they're like, oh look, zero. They get a card from Megalomart, blah blah blah, and it's like 0 down, 0 APR, blah 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 blah, and you can get a washing machine and dryer, right? And they apply for a card, and he gets denied.
Yeah.
And they're like, and the clerk's trying to be a dick. He's like, well, the computer says you got bad credit.
Yeah.
And they go to Arlen Video to fucking remedy that shit. He's like, sir, if you could just return the movie, I'd be happy to knock off the charge. Or you could just pay it now.
Yeah.
And I get that. He's a man of principle. He's like, where is this movie anyway? Where would it be? Action, adventure?
Yes, it's just
action,
walking by looking
comedy,
all
action, horror, action.
Straight back a little bit further.
Take a left. And there. Whoa! And like John Redcorn and Nancy are there. And even John Redcorn is giving that disappointed, like fuck you, John Redcorn. Fuck you, native.
It walks into a room that's like the doorway's just covered with beads.
Yeah, like old school videos or like T-Town videos and shit like that.
Yeah, so Hank goes through that big old investigation, watching the videos, looking for tattoos
like
and shit like that. Here's the fucked up thing, though. With everything you just said, with him doing all the math and shit, like she would have had to be 17 at the time. All he did was figure out when the dates of videos were recorded. Those videos were still rented on those days.
Yeah.
That was a slide joke to underage porn.
Yeah.
That was a joke to they let a 17-year-old do porn.
Yeah. It's really fucked up because remember what the judge says at the end? Well, Hank, Mr. Hill, we do in favor of the defendant, Mr. Hank Hill, and let the court show that Hank Hill knows his pornography.
Yes.
But Dale has one of the best lines of his entire fucking career on that show. He's like, Hank, right now your information is being fed and encoded through million lines of computer code. And you're being tracked down, profiled, and then the close up, the Beast.
The Beast.
And it's like, oh my God, he's woke. Like this is before Facebook, this is before MySpace. This is the most woke motherfucker on the block.
97.
There's
97.
There's a few of those moments again throughout the series.
He's like, he tells you not to trust the government for decades, and he's like, he was right. Don't trust the fucking government, man. Even when he kind of loses his mind there for a second, where he becomes a patriot, he's like, I'm so jacked on America. And Bill, fucking Bill, he's like, how dare? Remember, because Hank Hill is a trusted person.
Yeah,
he gets a fucking telemarketer call from a porn guy. He's like, hey Hank, it's me, Jeff. And Hank's like, oh, hey Jeff, how you doing? He's like, I'm doing good. How's Peggy? And he's like clicking away.
Right.
And he's like, well, we saw where you look like Cuffs and Collars. Well, maybe you like Cuffs and Collars 3, Return of the Cuffs. And it's just like, God damn, he's trying to sell the porn. He's like, how did you get this number? Well, Hank, we can send you some products. And he's like, and then he's on a mailing list for a shit ton of porn products.
I know, he gets all the toys.
Yeah, vibrating and shit. And then Bill sitting there drinking a beer. He's like, What you do in the privacy of your house is disgusting. And you let it spill over in the street. I would have strangled him with a fucking dildo.
And Bobby's just kind of looking at it going like, what's this do?
Just, oh God, just armbarred the fuck out of him.
And at the very end, when Hank's talking about cuffs and collars and everything, he leaves the tapes on the stand. Bill walks up, takes the tapes, leaves the final note going, "You win."
Yeah.
Next episode, though, final shinsult.
Oh, it's a
Cotton episode.
Cotton episode.
They steal the leg of a Mexican general, Santa Anna.
Antonio Lopez de Santa Anna wooden leg.
Yeah. General Santa Anna.
I always like that one because he just had such a fucking bone to pick on that episode.
Oh, he did, because he was losing his shit, because it was around the time where he was about to lose his license.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah,
Right.
And
Dale,
fucking
Dale supports Cotton Heel 120%.
Doesn't matter
Yes.
what
Calls
the
him
fuck that
general.
says.
He is a hero to
Colonel,
Dale.
He calls him Colonel.
Yeah, Colonel.
He's like, he's not a fucking colonel. He's a buck private in fucking WW2. And like, it's like, what the fuck is going on?
I love that Dale
And
makes
Dale's
him
like,
a fake.
my daddy now.
He makes him a fake license from the back of a Cheerio box.
Yeah. Here you go, Colonel. In the back of it's like, cheery.
But yeah, I don't remember a whole lot from that one, but that Dale part is what sticks out to me on that one.
Well, that happens a couple times.
Well, that
like
was the
Cotton
one
Heel
they
hanging out
got-
with Dale.
Yeah.
That's the one where they get Hank shit-faced drunk because they need Hank in order to do the plot.
No, that's where Hank finds out.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that's
you're
later
right,
on.
you're
That's
right.
where
That's
Hank
a different
finds
one.
out he wasn't born in Texas. He's born in New York City.
This was the school kids had a play that had to do with the wooden leg, and Cotton got all pissy about it
because they're returning the leg to Mexico.
That's what it was.
Which is fucking hilarious because in real life we did return the leg.
That's what the episode was about. Yeah,
Because at the end, remember, there's that little PSA. He's like, right now the leg of General Santa Anna is being returned to our allies in Mexico.
Yeah.
It is now sitting in the Illinois State Museum. If you'd like to know more, please write the Illinois State Museum at blah, 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 blah. And it's like, oh my God,
that was
get the full address.
That was a legit PSA.
I think Mike Judge was at the Illinois fucking museum. He got kicked the fuck out. And he was like, I'll show you. I'll show all of you. You're going to get so much fucking mail about some stupid shit. But remember, Dale straps Cotton to his leg, and Cotton straps that leg to him. And like remember they give the leg back to Mexico, but it's the prop leg.
Yeah, because it
And
breaks.
where's the real leg? Cotton's got it on the Mexican border.
Yep.
I would like to trade this for 1 million pesos. Call your leader.
You do that Cotton pretty well.
Call your leader. Now, Hank, I don't appreciate this bullshit. Cotton Heel is the most dynamic character.
Oh yeah,
because he lies and he says
He's such a piece of shit, but there's a whole lot more to him too.
Yeah. What was it you wanted to talk to me about, Hank? He's just like, that's what I thought.
And now we get Leanne. That's her episode.
Speaking
with
of piece of shit characters.
Oh my
No
God!
shit.
And remember, it's not Peggy's sister; it's her sister-in-law. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to remember. Let's see who plays her.
While you're looking that up, though, I'll say this is an interesting episode because they, of course, touch on the whole thing of, abuse in the home, but in reverse. Usually it's the guy being abusive toward the girl. This time around, it was Leanne being abusive toward Bill.
Yeah.
And I thought that was kind of an interesting dynamic. Again, King of the Hill
Bobby
touching on...
Pamela Alden.
Oh, does
the one that
Leanne?
does Bobby Hill does Leanne's voice.
Oh, really?
That's her real voice. That's what I thought.
But yeah, it kind of gives a little backstory on Luann too.
Yeah, it's actually this is a very heavy Luann episode period because remember, Bill has a foot problem, and he never takes he never takes care of it. But he starts taking care of it, and then he starts flaunting his feet.
Yeah,
and everyone's like, God damn it, Bill. Fucking, I hate you. But no, fucking, she's married. Leanne is married to Peggy's brother.
Yeah.
And they start fighting in the goddamn yard. It's hilarious. They start fighting in the yard. And she's like, I'll kick your ass the way I kicked your brother's ass. And she's like, well, there's one thing me and my brother have done are not alike. I have size 16 feet, and she kicks that she kicks her off her, which is hilarious. And what does she do? What is the one Peggy trait that she loves doing?
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
that's a great little thing. Every time she throws it, because she gets on the softball team. Every time she throws the softball, oh yeah,
That's a great episode where she's playing softball.
Yeah.
And Hank gets her on. Oh my god! I watched that the other day.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Cause I was just burning through episodes. I think it was season 3 or 4. And they're doing the Strickland propane.
Yeah,
team,
the softball
baseball.
teams.
I think I watched that the other day
I
too.
remember my dad doing that a lot when I was a kid.
Really?
He played softball for he worked for, and that was a big thing back in the day. You know, corporations would get a softball league. Going. They don't really do it now anymore.
No.
Like,
My company
They
still
don't
has
do
a
much
softball team.
outdoor
they don't
activities.
do much of shit that we used to do, man. That sucks.
Softball team does sound kind of fun.
But I will say this, you know, you weren't up here, or you weren't up in West Virginia when I went up there. I was like, or you probably were. I got there early. Yeah. Y'all were playing a show up there, but I got there before y'all. And I went to a baseball game with fucking Brad and Amy.
Oh yeah,
And Cooper's playing baseball, and I'm sitting there beside Brad and Amy, and I'm like, "Hey, Brad, you guys heckle these motherfuckers at all? Like, they're kids, they're like 14-year-old kids." And they're like, no, we don't do that. I'm like, fucking lame. Throw the fucking ball, boy.
Or just be that parent that yells at the umpire.
Yeah. Fuck you. That was safe by a mile. Just talking shit. And while I was up there, I was playing baseball with Cooper for a while.
Yeah.
Just throwing the ball around, man. God, I forgot how much that hurts.
I like the resolution of this episode because the only way they're able to get Leanne to leave is Bill quit taking care of his feet.
Because he ran out of money.
Yeah.
He ran out of money because Leanne just drained the shit out of him. She got fucking
Which Bill is tend
shit-faced.
to let people do because he's just such a he
can't-
wants to be a nice person, so he lets people run all over him.
She's like, because remember, Bill can't drink because he's taking antifungal meds.
Yep.
Leanne can't drink because the government told her not to.
Yeah.
but still don't stop her.
No, fuck no. 'Cause
She's
it's
on
Leanne.
she's on probation
She's
or something like that,
Buckley.
right?
Buckley. That's what it was. The trigger was Buckley.
Yeah.
Hey, stud. It's like, get off me, you old bitch.
That's right.
Yeah, and then basically at that point it's just typical sitcom thing where she just drives off. Oh, we learned something today.
Yeah. And it's like, she's got a fork. And never she wasn't allowed to have forks.
Yeah.
She's got
Call
a
back
fork.
to an older episode where Luann's just like, there's the fork from such and such.
Remember Mommy Stabbed Daddy?
Yeah.
Next up was Junkie Business.
The fucking
This was an
drug
interesting
addict.
episode for them to
This
do.
is actually a deep dive into what OSHA
Yeah.
does. But OSHA is a safety organization if you don't know. But anyway, back then there was a weird rule where you can't fire drug addicts,
Right.
which is fine on the merit. But when they fucking come into your job and lie about, this is why we have mandatory drug testing.
Yeah.
Because you know, like, hey, I need you. You're gonna be selling propane. I can't have a meth head sell propane. Yeah.
And the kid comes in and with all the qualifications that just checks all of Hank's boxes and everything.
And remember, he doesn't hire Marie Montalvo
Because she's a girl.
because she's a woman, and he's like, Mario.
and they
Mario,
kinda had
Do you
a-
mean me, Mr. Hill? Maria? He's like, oh, I thought there was a Mario.
And
There's no Mario out here, Mr. Hill.
And they were kind of vibing on each other for a little bit too.
Yeah, like it played to Hank's strengths, and then remember Hank tells Peggy about not hiring a woman. She gets kind of mad and upset.
Yeah.
And she's like, was she pretty? Is that why you didn't hire her, Hank?
And Hank's just like, yeah, kinda. It's so
And
many
it's like, well,
words.
she's a very handsome woman. Like,
Yeah.
little pig and all this bullshit. And
Hank didn't want to admit that he thought she was pretty.
at some point, Peggy thought like Hank was going to cheat on her.
Yeah.
Which is like, he should, but like he should take a page out of Redcorn's book. It's fucking hilarious. Stick Boy shows back up in this episode.
Stick boy.
Stick Boy and the guy from the first episode, CPS guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Hey, Twig Boy.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Twig boy, that's what it
Twig
was.
Boy. He's like, no, Mr. Hill, you can't fire him because he is a drug addict. God damn it, Hank, you handled it. What was he called him?
You gave the
job to a fucking drug addict. But it's like
you gave the monkey the keys to the
no, he
zoo
calls
or
it
something
like a
that?
derogatory term for fucking
Yeah.
drug addict.
Forget.
And oh god, He's basically got soup for brains.
Yeah, in so many words.
You have to keep. Remember, he had to turn the lights down. And remember, it was all because he had a certain number of employees.
Yeah.
And then everybody else started taking advantage.
Yep.
He's like, hey, Bill, or like Dave. He's like, can you reset the propane gauges? He's like, Hank, if I have to reset the gauges, someone's going to die.
Yeah.
Like it feels like he's got PTSD or something. And then Hank even tries to like fix the situation. He calls that dude in and he's like, Mr. Hill, you said you have a disability that needs to be treated? He's like, yeah, I have a bad case of hard work.
Yeah.
And like that dude's like,
everybody's just sleeping in the office.
People like you, Mr. Hill, are what ruins it for these people. And he's like, you know what? I quit.
Yeah.
You hear that, Buck? That means you're down to 14 employees. That means you can fire whoever the fuck you want.
Bye.
And then fucking Strickland, he hires him back. He's like, I need an assistant manager. You want to have the job, Hank? Yep. Now I'm going to have to tell you, you don't get any vacation days. And I'm just like, oh, you motherfucker.
I know, reset his goddamn vacation.
Reset the whole payroll.
I know. It's like, asshole, he was gone for a few hours.
He's gone less than an hour. He's standing right there. He's just saying, well, Hank, I got to tell you, you can't have vacation.
One of my favorites up next, Life in the Fast Lane, Bobby Saga. You remember that one?
Jimmy Witcher.
Jimmy Witcher.
Man, he
Cap always looks like he forgets this episode every time.
Jimmy Witcher
He's
is
got
a
that look
NASCAR
on his
I
face
know. I was like, you have
already.
to remind me what happens in this
in
episode.
the beginning, Boomhauer races a
episode.
state trooper
Oh yeah.
and wins. And then the cops like,
I don't remember them by titles.
and the cop's like, hey, you beat me. I don't like that. Let's have a rematch this weekend at the Durdle County Durdle County Raceway.
Yeah.
He's like, I'll see you then. And he walks past Boomhauer's car, walks behind the car, and he busts his fucking tail out. He's like, you need to get that fixed. It's like, oh, you piece of shit.
Asshole.
Yep.
And then like they do pit crew maneuvers with Boomhauer in his vehicle, and it's a whole thing. And then Bobby gets a job working concessions for Jimmy Witcher, and Dale has a great line about Jimmy Witcher. He's like, oh yeah, he fried his brain like staring at the sun, and then halfway past he's like, I don't know how smart you got to be to stare at the sun though. That's smart he was before.
And they get into a whole thing. Bobby and Hank get into a whole thing about working hard and just basically just eating a bag of dicks, just doing
but then you
doing
realize
hard work.
what Jimmy's actually doing to him, and he's like, "Fuck this guy."
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, Dad, I think Mr. Richard's retarded. He's like, well, Bobby, you don't say that kind of thing.
No, I really think he is.
I think there's something wrong with his brain, Dad. He's like, no, Bobby.
I crushed a can.
Yeah, that was later on against Cotton.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he tells him like, look, you gotta push through, man. It's your first job, blah blah blah. You know, it's gonna be tough.
Yeah.
It's gonna be tough. He's like, he's gotta have that can-do attitude. He's like,
Yeah.
all right, Dad, I'll go back. And it's another like father-son thing that's real big in the show. Is like he goes back and he tells Jimmy, "I'm going to give 110%." He's like, "Yeah, you do that." Remember, people are hot and dry and they want something wet. It was thirsty and wet, like cold and wet. They want something cold and wet. It's just like these people are hot and dry. They want something cold and wet. And it's just like, God damn it, because he has a partner too that you only see for like 2 seconds.
Yeah, because he's like, I quit.
Yeah, he's like, my dad said I can only quit this job if I get someone to replace me.
Yeah.
And Bob was just out there just getting his just like soul handed to him, but it's just like, I can do whatever you need me to do this next thing, this redundant task that somebody else.
Clean the fries, clean the flies out of the grease.
Enough. He sees that and he's like, I am kicking your fucking ass.
You know who did a special guest appearance?
Who?
I don't know.
Fucking Canapolis only, man. 3 for Dale.
Oh, it was Taylor. That's
Dale
right.
Earnhardt. Because remember, Bobby's like, this felt rope is really nice. He's like, Bobby, it's about the car. And here comes Dale Earnhardt. He's like, I saw my guys unload my car. This is some really nice fine rope we got. It's like, God damn it.
No, it also says Jimmy Ritter on this one was David Herman.
Yeah, he's a constant on the show.
Yeah.
You see him in the credits all the time.
Mike Judge had a bunch of NASCAR drivers kind of do voices in the show, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. And after that, Peggy's Turtle Song.
Oh, dude. The song is hilarious.
Peggy going to the open mics.
And that was also a really good one that kind of showed, like, a femininity and feminist kind of standpoint, but doing it in the right way. Because Hank was pushing hard against it the whole time. Why you gotta be singing that sad ass turtle song? And then by the end of it, he's like, "Please sing your sad ass turtle song."
Oh, it's like
It reads like Peggy like legit just wrote a kid song about turtles, but it's interpreted by like the open mic community as a feminist anthem now.
Yeah, I forget who does the voice of the chick that teaches her guitar, but she has some like really strong opinions about Hank.
Yeah,
because remember Peggy's like, this girl has got
tattoos, Hank,
tattoos and blue hair. And you think you don't think she needs a hot meal?
Yeah,
you know, like it's like it's fucking hilarious.
It was when she was sitting doing her initial talk with her, and she was like, "So you say your husband's a musician? Oh yeah, you know this that, and the other. What kind of guitar?" And he's like, "What kind of guitar do you have?" "Oh, it's Bessie, and she's a 1960 blah blah blah." Yeah. And she's like, "Oh, and you're playing on that old
plywood thing,
that pressboard plywood thing?" And she's like, "Oh, I wouldn't dare think of touching Betsy." And she's like, interesting.
What's the premise of her learning? Why does she need to learn guitar?
To have another voice to sing with.
No, because she's stuck at home. Because Hank and her agreed for her to stay home because Bobby what happened was he ate too much fucking cereal. Got a sugar high. He fucking snaps at his teacher, and they put him on fucking Adderall.
No, actually, I love the setup to that. As soon as the credits finish rolling at the beginning, you see Bobby waltzing on into the kitchen, makes himself a bowl of cereal,
cookie crisp or some shit,
and he's just kind of mild mannered. He's like, "That was a good way to start the day."
And then Peggy comes in first. He's like, "Oh, honey, I can't. I got to be at school. Blah blah blah. Here." And she pulls out that fucking cookie crisp.
Hands it to him.
He's like, "Here, eat a bowl of this."
And by the second one, he's like, "Oh man, you know how to make some good cereal," and like punches the thing.
Yeah, he's like, and he punches the box, and like,
and then Hank comes in.
He's like, "Hey, did your mom have time to make it?" No.
He's like, "Cookie crisp. You might want to put some sugar on that." No. He's like, "Okay." Yeah, and he's like sitting here at classes.
Yeah. And he's talking to the teacher. He's like, "We've heard the setup. Now get to the lunch line."
We've heard the previews. Let's get to the main feature. Bobby. Yes, Bobby what? Bobby what?
Bobby help. And he's basically having like a sugar attack.
Yeah, but they give him ADHD medication.
Same thing happened to me when I was a kid.
No shit.
All right. So they said I was very hyperactive as a child.
Yeah.
Which is just another way of saying you're not keeping someone's attention.
Yeah.
And I'm a child.
Exactly.
They put me on fucking Ritalin when I was a kid. My dad took me off that shit so goddamn quick. You know what his excuse was?
What?
You stopped being funny, son.
Damn.
You were very boring to be around. I was just like, oh.
Thanks,
cool.
Dad.
And plus, your aunt's kind of a bitch for fucking giving me that kind of advice. But no,
Jesus.
Dude, yeah, that happened. Like, that's fucking happened, bro. And I remember taking that shit before school and then taking another one after school. It was the first pill I ever had to take constantly. It was Ritalin. Now I wish I still had the prescription. I'd be selling that shit left and right.
Favorite joke of the whole season. After Bobby starts taking the medication, he's sitting in the kitchen. They're all just kind of chit-chatting about stuff, and he's like, there's some milk in the fridge.
He takes a big whiff. He goes,
there's some
milk in the fridge is about to go bad. And there it goes.
but he says that there it goes so calmly. It's just like,
there it goes.
And there it goes.
Just like, I give up.
My favorite joke is
and Luann's getting all mad because she's got that test coming up that she's
like,
having trouble
I wish I had some of your magic study pills.
Yeah.
I think that's a great joke, but my favorite was when the blue-haired chick came for dinner and teach Peggy how to play guitar. She pulls up and passes the guys in the alley, and Bill and Dale and Boomhauer are all looking at this blue-haired, short blue-haired chick, punk rocker, fucking walking in, and they're like, "Hey, Hank, she looks a little pro-choice." Not in the Gribble home.
Is that me moving the table?
That's me.
Oh, my bad.
I shouldn't.
I thought it was like my thighs just kicking it up.
Nah.
No.
We're having fun.
We need to just get a fucking just the office.
I know. We need
Just rent the office space.
sign up to. Well, we're already on Patreon. Never mind. I was gonna say sign up to the Patreon. We'll rent our own office
Pay
space.
more.
Pay
Get
more.
to a larger tier.
Pay more and get us a WeWork office.
To pay more, we'll personalize the episode for you. Just tell us what you like, and we'll bullshit about it.
Yes. All right. Last episode in the season, Propane Boom Part 1.
Feels so good.
This was a
Feels
great
so
season.
good.
It was, and this is a two-parter. Would you guys want to go ahead and do both two parts?
Let's go ahead. No, let's leave it as a cliffhanger, just
Okay.
like they do. Let's leave it as a cliffhanger.
I like it.
So really, the episode was a lot of build-up. There wasn't a whole lot that kind of happened.
The whole build-up was that Megalomart was selling propane.
Yeah.
And Buckley was in charge.
And that did not sit well with Hank.
And
To the point where Hank had to get a fucking job there.
Well, Hank was unemployed for a minute.
Yeah.
And he was sitting at home. And she's like, Uncle Hank, I'm going to get a job with Buckley at the Megalomart. Mm-hmm. He's like, doing what?
Selling propane.
Selling propane, just like you used to do, Hank, before you got laid off and you don't have a job.
Yes.
Before you became destitute.
She was so shitty to him like
Yeah,
that.
she's kind of
too.
shitty to him. And then Bobby's giving her the test. It's like propane is A, gas.
No, flammable.
B, flammable. C, all of the above. She's like, it's C. I would have got Uncle Hank. She snaps at Uncle Hank.
The question was
British
is
thermal
it,
unit.
Is it A, flammable, B, non-flammable, or C, all of the above? And he's like, it's flammable.
Uncle Hank,
I would have gotten that.
you would never have gotten that.
I know. He snaps at her fucking fast.
He snapped at her so goddamn quick.
You would have never gotten
gotten
that, you stupid bitch.
Uncle Hank. She snapped. Uncle Hank.
He does that.
We need Raina down here to do it.
He does that a lot with like everybody, and it's great.
Yeah, it's fucking old, dude. What was it? That's when he meets the guy, the bait guy.
Yes.
Again. Mm-hmm. And they're being bossed around by fucking teenagers.
And
The crack cocaine bait guy, or
Yeah, but not the crack cocaine guy, but the guy who
original
told him
bait
about the
guy.
crack.
oh, okay, the
guy-
guy that actually ran the
the
store
bait
and all
shop
that.
guy.
Yeah.
The guy that burned his place down.
Also, like the slide joke they gave because Luann wound up not getting the job. Hank took it out from underneath her.
Yeah.
And when she shows up, Hank's turning around. He's trying to get his pin on his vest, so he's like making a frown. So it looks like he's like turning around just like, ha, ha, ha. But then like a half second before it fades away, you see him just kind of like look down at the thing, just like, God, I can't get this thing on.
Yeah. And she is so fucking mad at him.
Uh-huh.
Oh, God.
And then in turn, he's mad at Buckley because Buckley is pulling around these
he's
propane
dragging
tanks.
a propane tank.
Taking his business.
It's not taking the business.
Well, like competition. That's like going to be like sold in Megalomart for like.
Megalomart, but he's also mad at Buckley because he's grabbing a propane tank by the fucking nozzle.
Yes, that's what
and
I was
not the
trying to
handle,
say.
and
That's right.
dragging it through the store.
Yeah.
That nozzle could come off and you scraping steel against rock.
Yeah, and
kill everyone.
And he had like some sort of like, hey man, I've worked here longer than you. I know what's going on.
I'm a senior propane
Yeah. He's like, yeah, guys, stupid ass shit.
Oh, it's hilarious because they talk to the other guys. He's like, hey, aren't you Ray? You ran layaway Rays? Yeah. He's like, yeah, I did. No, I don't. He has the greatest line. He's like, now I'm working here, feeding the beast that killed me.
Yeah, that line stuck with me too. Feeding the beast that killed me.
That's the mentality of anyone that works at Walmart, just feeding the beast that killed me. Yeah, so much good stuff in that episode.
Chuck Mangione.
I was gonna say,
Chuck
but
Mangione
that
comes
was
up
also the end of Peggy and Luann.
Buckley and Luann.
Buckley and Luann. They end their relationship in that episode.
At the very like. Hank is planning a coup. Okay, he's planning a coup with kazoos.
Yes.
And the sign drops, and it says Megalomart kills small towns.
Yeah.
And kills small town business. And they're going to do it, but he hears that scraping noise, and the last thing you see is boom, and a plume of black smoke, and Connie and Bobby on the play set.
Yeah, because they're
like, hey, what was his name? Peters, not Peter. Ralph Peters.
Clark Peters.
The red-headed guy. What was his name?
The your grandma loves you guy.
Yeah,
that piece of shit. He runs up. He's like, your dad just blew up. It's like, And fucking Boomhauer's on the goddamn.
Dang old man.
Dang old, sir, I need you to calm down.
I need you to speak slower.
Dang old megalo mark, man, go boom. No, this is fucking hilarious.
But it's implied that do they do this in this episode or the follow-up episode that implies where Buckley dies in the fire?
Buckley, you don't know what happens.
Yeah, you don't know what happens in that episode. They basically end it with the boom.
Season 3. Yeah.
And we don't even find out if Hank is safe.
No.
You're under the assumption the show's going to end.
Right.
Yeah, it's the season finale.
That's solid fucking cliffhanger for a season.
Yeah, it was great.
It literally ends with that phone call from Boomhauer. You see the big boom, the cloud of smoke, the thing when he was talking about the place
and
saying,
then Boomhauer making the call.
Your dad just blew up, and then making the phone call, and that's when it went to credits.
Well, the second season gives you so many episodes to get invested in these characters to
the point when that happens, you're like, oh fuck,
you're invested.
Oh yeah, you're in.
And one other little line I love in that episode is right before Hank's about to do the kazoo thing with Peggy stops him and she sounds like she's about to do that. Hank, don't do it. It sounds like she's about to go into one of her, talk him off the ledge things, but she goes, Hank, don't blow. It'll mess up the wax paper. And I'm just like, you fucking go, Peggy. To support your man like that. You go get it.
I've seen enough classroom rebellions to know when this is going to happen.
But I just love how because she was kind of against it throughout the episode a bit too. So how she just kind of came at the end was just like, don't blow. You'll mess up the wax paper. It's just like, yes, that's awesome.
And by then you're like used to all the nuances of like all the characters and everything, including Cotton and including everybody else. So I think it's a pretty solid season all the way through. There's some great episodes on there.
Oh yeah. I don't know if we did this last one, but let's start kind of doing this now. Favorite episode of the season?
It's a good question.
So we got the shooting one, Twister, Arrowhead, Halloween.
Twister's one of my favorites.
The Crack Bass, Husky Bobby, Kane Straderberg paintball thing. Son That Got Away, which was the Caves, Company Man, which was the new housing development in need of propane.
The one with the
impressive Southerner, Northerner.
The Boston guy. That's one of my favorites.
The wrestling one, Unbearable, the blindness episode rather, Manger Babies, the snowstorm where he's got to take care of Buck's dogs, the Mono. 3 days of
Mexico.
Yeah, it's the Mexico one.
That
Chris
one.
Rock.
Chris Rock.
That one.
Porno one. The Cotton Heel steals a Mexican relic.
Yeah.
Leanne.
And at that point, we kind of remember the rest of
Jockey.
them.
I think the Timeshare Mexico one is probably my favorite.
Really?
That's fucking hilarious.
That is a great. I do like that one a lot.
What about you?
It's a cross between Halloween and get down here.
Man who shot Kane Straderberg.
No, not even. That's a humorous one. That's the problem. Is I like the final battle they have where they're getting the best of the teens, and I almost want to say Peggy's Turtle Song because I love the bee line in it, or the bee story so much of Bobby on that medication.
Remember Lou Wade gets a hold of it?
Yes. Oh my God. I trimmed the hedges. I made your breakfast and I ate your breakfast.
Yes. No. She's like, I made the brunch. I trimmed the hedges, mowed the yard, took Lady Bird out, then ate the brunch.
And she probably did that all in 10
They play that
minutes.
really fast. It's the theme song.
Yeah.
Sped way the fuck up.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, maybe we need to look in more into this medicine pig.
So I think favorite overall episode would be the Halloween one, but favorite storyline was the bee storyline in that episode. I love that so much.
Mine's got to be a tie between 10 and 11.
Yeah, 10 and 11. The
Bobby Slam and the unbearable blindness of Lane.
The Bobby Slam one was it's so classic.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Remember she hypnotizes him?
Yeah.
She does the 2 point stuff. and he's like,
starts acting zombified.
And then one of the kids is like, oh my God, she zombified him.
I was waiting for some sort of like, oh my God, it's an Asian mind trick.
Yeah, let's make it racist. But that's what like when Bobby picks her up, he pulls a Bane.
I know, fucking knocks her.
He picks her up and breaks her on his knee, like Bane. And
it's like, goddamn, boy.
Oh my God! And it's like, and then he throws her. No, he hits her with a chair, and she goes down. And Con and Min are recording it. She's like, I want to go to party school, Chico State. Woo!
Yep.
Fuck Harvard. I ain't going to Harvard.
But yeah,
So it's so funny. Like you learn so much about a lot of the characters.
And there's quite a few of them too, but they all have their little nuances, including fucking Dee Dee and Leanne and all the B characters.
Yeah, you do see a lot of B characters now. What's funny is this is not a very John Raycorn heavy.
No,
but
he gets his seasons a little bit later.
Yeah, when he has his band.
Yes.
What's it called?
Big Mountain Fudge Cake.
What does that stand for?
Oh yeah, you can't, I remember now. Think about it, Cap. What is it?
So is it an acronym for something else? Big motherfucking.
Yeah, big mother.
Just edited in a little rooster.
I love Cap's self-censorship. All that just.
So you said earlier about the blacks. I remember that. That's on B-roll. I know. I heard it. What you said is detrimental to a society, man.
guys, I think the videotape's messing up over here.
It ain't messing up. Cap's out here.
My mic. Cut it out.
Lying sack of shit. I can hear from here.
Well, damn it, guys. It's about time for us to move on into season 3. So until next time, hope you enjoyed your 2-parter this week. You're getting double the amount of shit during quarantine. Yep. We love you for it. This has been Alex.
It's Cap.
Morrison.
And this has been fun as hell.
Right on.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.